Welcome to today's tutorial series on the NEC4 Engineering and Construction Contract, often referred to as the ECC. The tutorial series aims to help civil engineers to have a brief understanding towards the NEC4 contract. This engineer and construction contract represents one of the most widely used standard forms in the construction industry, particularly for major infrastructure and public sector projects. Today, we'll explore its structure and practical applications to help you understand how it works in real-world scenarios. The NEC suite was designed specifically to promote clarity, flexibility, and good management practices. Whether you're new to NEC contracts or looking to deepen your understanding, this session will provide valuable insights into how these contracts function and why they've become increasingly popular across the global construction industry. The NEC contract suite has evolved significantly since its introduction. Starting with NEC1 in 1993, it was a revolutionary approach to construction contracts, focusing on clarity and collaboration rather than the adversarial relationships common in traditional contracts. NEC2 followed in 1995 with refinements based on industry feedback. The major breakthrough came with NEC3 in 2005, which gained widespread adoption, particularly after being endorsed by the UK government for public sector projects. NEC4, released in 2017, represents the current evolution, incorporating lessons learned and expanding options to address modern construction challenges. Throughout its development, the NEC has maintained its core philosophy as a no-compromise contract encouraging good management, emphasizing clarity, flexibility, and a proactive approach to project management. The NEC4 ECC follows a modular structure designed for flexibility while maintaining consistency. At the foundation are 9 core clauses that appear in every NEC4 contract. These establish the fundamental principles for project management, responsibilities, and procedures. The next layer comprises the main options, labeled A through F, where users select one option that determines the primary payment mechanism and risk allocation strategy. Secondary options, X clauses, allow further customization with additional provisions like price adjustment, delay damages, or dispute resolution methods. Finally, the contract data and schedules contain the project-specific information. This modular approach allows contracts to be tailored to specific project needs while maintaining the clarity and consistency that characterizes the NEC suite. The structure ensures all essential elements are included while providing flexibility to address specific project requirements. The 9 core clauses form the backbone of every NEC4 ECC contract. Clause 1, General, establishes contract interpretation principles and the early warning mechanism, which is central to NEC's proactive management approach. Clause 2 defines the contractor's responsibilities regarding design, workmanship, and subcontracting. Clause 3 covers all time-related matters, including the critically important program requirements. Clause 4 addresses quality management through testing and inspection procedures. Clause 5 outlines the payment assessment and certification process. Clause 6, often considered the most significant, details the compensation event system, NEC's method for dealing with changes and risk events. Clause 7 clarifies ownership of materials and equipment. Clause 8 establishes risk allocation and insurance requirements. Finally, Clause 9 provides the framework for contract termination. These clauses work together to create a comprehensive framework for project delivery while promoting transparency and collaboration. The NEC4 ECC offers 6 main options, A through F, that determine the fundamental payment mechanism and risk allocation approach. Options A and B are priced contracts where the contractor is paid based on rates and prices in the contract. Option A uses an activity schedule approach with lump sum payments, while Option B employs a bill of quantities with remeasurement. Options C and D are target cost contracts that combine cost reimbursement with a pain/gain share mechanism. The contractor is paid their actual costs plus a fee, but there's a financial incentive to beat the agreed target. Option C uses an activity schedule format, while Option D uses a bill of quantities. Options E and F are fully cost reimbursable, with the employer taking most of the financial risk. Option E is a direct cost-plus arrangement, while Option F is a management contract, where the contractor primarily manages subcontractors. Selection should be based on project complexity, risk profile, and client objectives. Option C is one of the most widely used NEC4 contract options, especially for complex or high-risk projects. It operates on a target cost principle with three fundamental components. First, the payment mechanism. The contractor is paid their actual defined cost, as defined in the contract, plus a fee percentage covering overheads and profit. Second, the pain/gain share mechanism creates a financial incentive for efficiency. The employer and contractor agree on a target price. If the final cost is below this target, both parties share the savings according to pre-agreed percentages, typically 50-50. Conversely, if costs exceed the target, both parties share the pain. This aligns interests and encourages collaboration. Third, the target price is adjusted when compensation events occur, ensuring the target remains fair when legitimate changes happen. This approach combines the transparency of cost-reimbursable contracts with the incentives of fixed-price contracts, making it ideal for projects with significant uncertainties. Let's examine a practical example of Option C in action. Consider a project with a target cost of £10 million. Through collaborative working and efficient management, the team completes the project at an actual cost of £9.5 million, achieving a £500,000 saving. With a standard 50-50 pain/gain share mechanism, this saving would be split equally between the employer and contractor. The employer pays £250,000 less than the target price, while the contractor receives an additional £250,000 as a reward for their efficiency. This creates a win-win scenario. Conversely, if the project had exceeded the target and cost £10.5 million, both parties would share the pain. The employer would pay £250,000 more than the target, and the contractor would absorb £250,000 of the overrun. This balanced approach to risk-sharing provides financial incentives for both parties to work together to minimize costs while maintaining quality. The pain/gain mechanism can be adjusted with different sharing percentages to reflect project-specific risk profiles. The NEC4 ECC establishes several key administrative processes that are essential to its effective implementation. The Early Warning Mechanism, Clause 15, is a proactive risk notification system where both parties must notify each other of anything that could increase cost, delay completion, or impair performance. This enables early intervention before issues escalate. The Program Requirements, Clauses 31 to 32, mandate regular updates to the project schedule, showing plan sequence, float, and time risk allowances. The Compensation Event Process, Clauses 60 to 65, is NEC's comprehensive change management system for handling variations, employer risks, and external events. It includes clear timescales for notification, quotation, and assessment. The Payment Process, Clauses 50 to 51, establishes regular assessment dates and certification procedures. These administrative processes work together to ensure transparency, early problem identification, and timely resolution of issues. The structured workflows, with defined timescales and responsibilities, create clarity and encourage collaborative behaviors throughout the project lifecycle. The NEC4 ECC clearly defines three key roles with distinct responsibilities. The project manager acts as the employer's agent and has extensive contractual authority. They manage the contract, assess compensation events, certify payments, and accept deliverables. Their decisions directly impact time, cost, and quality outcomes. The supervisor focuses on technical compliance and quality assurance. They inspect the works, check compliance with specifications, issue defect notifications, and conduct tests. While they report to the employer, their role is separate from the project manager to maintain independent quality oversight. The contractor is responsible for providing the works according to the contract. This includes designing, where applicable, constructing, preparing and updating the program, correcting defects, and submitting payment applications. These roles create a system of checks and balances, with each party having clearly defined responsibilities. The relationships between these roles are collaborative rather than adversarial, emphasizing joint problem-solving and proactive management. Implementing NEC4 contracts presents several challenges that require careful management. First, NEC terminology differs significantly from traditional contracts, using terms like defined cost instead of actual cost and program instead of schedule. This unfamiliarity can lead to misinterpretation of contractual requirements. Second, the administrative resources needed are often underestimated. NEC contracts require proactive management and regular communication, demanding more administrative effort than many traditional contracts. Third, the strict time requirements for notifications, quotations, and assessments can lead to time-barred entitlements if not carefully managed. Fourth, the volume of compensation events on complex projects can create a significant administrative burden. To address these challenges, several best practices have emerged. Pre-contract training workshops ensure all team members understand NEC terminology and processes. Dedicated contract administration teams with appropriate resources manage the administrative requirements. Digital notification systems help track and manage time-sensitive communications. And standardized templates for compensation event assessments improve efficiency and consistency. With proper preparation and resources, these challenges can be effectively managed. As we conclude, let's summarize the key takeaways from today's presentation. The NEC4 engineering and construction contract promotes collaborative project management through its clear language, proactive mechanisms, and balanced risk allocation. Its modular structure allows customization to suit project-specific requirements, with core clauses providing the foundation and main options determining the fundamental approach to payment and risk. Each main option serves different project needs, from the fixed-price approach of options A and B to the collaborative target cost mechanisms of options C and D. Successful implementation requires understanding the contract's philosophy, adequate resources for administration, and proper training for all team members. For those interested in deepening their knowledge, several resources are available, including the NEC e-learning portal, ICE training courses, and comprehensive practical guides. The NEC4 suite continues to evolve, with regular updates addressing industry needs and incorporating lessons learned from practical application. Thank you for your attention, and I welcome any questions you might have about implementing NEC4 contracts in your projects.